Hey there, I'm Jeff Elkins, and this is the Dialogue Doctor Podcast. Today on the podcast, I'm sitting down with Pitch Master Lindsey Hughes to talk about the art of pitching and to read through pitches from listeners. I am super excited about the episode today. Lindsey is fantastic, and we had an amazing time talking about pitching and then going through some of the pitches that you, the listeners, submitted. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to all of them. We got so many pitches turned in, which is fantastic. And I got to the ones that we could get to. I kept Lindsey on because she and I talked for like 10 minutes before we hit record, and I ended up keeping her on way past the time that I told her we would. So I did have to cut it off. We couldn't keep going. But I feel like the feedback she gave can be applied across a lot of pitches, and like there's real awesome nuggets of gold in there. So enjoy the episode. Before we get to the conversation with Lindsey, let's talk about what's happening in the Dialogue Doctor world. First thing that's happening is the Dash is live. You can sign up for the Dash. This is our unique community writing experience that starts September 28th and ends December 14th. During this experience, you will get access to Dialogue Doctor coaches and the Dialogue Doctor community via Slack. You get 2 Dialogue Dash workbooks. During that time, we'll do 9 one-hour live virtual webinars. We will do 30 virtual office hours. So office hours are a time where a Dialogue Doctor coach is there and you can just come ask whatever questions you want wherever you're getting stuck. We'll do contests to motivate your work, and we will surround you with a supportive community. So the idea behind the Dialogue Dash is that things are better together. We do things better together. And so even though you are the only writer working on your book, you need a community of people around you urging you to move forward. So this is that unique community experience where we say, hey, let's all just lean in together and do this. We break it into 3 sections. October is the month of planning and analyzing our story. November, we try to sprint write. We try to write hard for 30 days. And then the last 2 weeks of the Dash in December, we focus on how we're going to edit what we've written. It doesn't matter where you are in your book. You can be starting your book. You can be in the middle of your book. You can be starting your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th draft of your book. The Dash is going to be a community experience that is going to help you. So come and sign up. You can go to dialoguedoctor.com and then click on the Dash 2025 button, and you can just sign up directly on the website. We've transitioned out of using Teachable or any other third-party site. You can sign up right on dialoguedoctor.com now and register. Oh, and I should mention, usually it's $1 a day. It's $80, but for last week and this week, I am running a sale. It is 20% off. So right now, it's 10% off. So right now it's $72. So come jump in, 80-day experience for $72. And again, it's fantastic. The Dash we do this twice a year. We do it once in the fall, once in the spring. It is my favorite time with the community because it's a time where we get really close. And I feel like even if you can't pay for sessions, if you can't pay the like $500 to have 4 sessions with me, you can afford $1 a day to come and jump in on the Dash. So come jump in. It's a lot of fun. We're going to bring a community around you and help you move your book forward. Okay, that is there anything else going on in the community? I mean, the community is always open. You can go to patreon.com/Jeff Elkins to sign up for the community. It's $5 a month. And we are doing, we do Monday, Sunday accountability. So what are your intentions for the week? And then how do those intentions play out? We ask on Sunday. Tuesday, we have a writing prompt that we send out. And then Wednesday right now, I'm doing a kind of comprehensive thing on branding and like understanding who you are. We've worked through like defining your core values. We're finishing up understanding your vision. And then we're going to move to like goals and then finally taglines and marketing, stuff like that. So, yeah, that's fun too. We're doing that on Wednesdays. And then on Thursdays, if you're in the second tier of the Patreon community, you get a bonus episode from me in which I spill the tea on all kinds of things going on in my head. It's less exciting than it sounds, but it is a good bonus episode. Like this week, I talked about why Zack Snyder's Superman feels so different than James Gunn's Superman. Outside of the coloring, what is the core differences? And I talked about the two different characters of Superman and how they focused in on different versions of that character. So that is that's what's going on in the Dialogue Doctor community. Come and join us and sign up. Personal update. Do I have a personal update? I don't think I do. We're kind of at the end of the summer. We're just kind of rolling forward. JP and I are writing Nerds Season 2. We've got that Kickstarter coming out in October. I am currently querying screenplays. I'm sending out 21 query letters a week. Working really hard to personalize them, sending them to people whose work I respect and who I really do think would be a good match for the project and for my writing in general. So, yeah, I'm just chugging along, y'all. It's the end of the summer. We are on a downslide until my kids get back to school, and we're having a good time. We're having a good time here at the Elkins house. I think that's it. That's enough blabbering for me. Let's get into the episode with Lindsey. Okay, I hit record and I'm here with Lindsey. Lindsey, you were on episode 243 talking about how you became the pitch master, and then 264 we did pitches before. So I'm just putting those out there in case anybody else wants to go listen to the previous episodes.
Amazing that you remember the numbers.
I don't. I have it in front of me. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't remember at all. I have it in front of me. Yeah. So we're looking at pitches today. I asked the dialoggers to send in pitches. You are the pitch master. But before we get into it, let's talk real quick about your kind of formula for pitching. Because
Okay.
I think that'd be a good background for everybody to understand before we just start dissecting pitches. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I have a formula that I teach and I call it the cocktail pitch. It is my version of an elevator pitch. And I call it a cocktail pitch because I was in Hollywood for years, and you're at all these mixers and parties, and people ask what you're working on, and then you give them your spiel. And you want it to be catchy and interesting, and the goal is to get to tell me more. So for this purpose, the tell me more for these guys, because they're novelists, might be read my manuscript or buy my book, or you're just at a cocktail party introducing yourself and you want someone to say, that's so cool, you're an author. It can be used in any circumstance. And when you get good at cocktail pitching, you can sort of adjust it depending on who you're talking to. The goal is for it to be what I call it, be able to make chiropractic adjustments. So if you're pitching an agent, you might talk differently than if you're talking to Jeff and I and you want feedback on your idea. So that's the overall philosophy. Did I leave anything out?
No, I found your work really helpful. I do a couple live book sales every year where I set up a table in a place and sell books, and I use the pitches there for my books all the time because people come up and they're like, "Oh, what's this about?" And it's really helpful to be like, "Oh, here's my little pitch." But
I
I'm
love
also,
that. Yay.
yeah, it's a great. So even if you're not going to query anybody, you're not meeting with agents. It's a really great tool to have in your back pocket. I'm also querying by emails right now, and I used your cocktail pitch formula, and I've sent out 14 emails. I already have some requests for full screenplays, which is great.
That is
Yeah,
so exciting. And yes,
yeah.
you can use it in emails. You can use it as sort of the beginning of your back of book blurb.
Hmm.
And yes, whenever you're selling, you want the tell me more is going to get them to buy the book.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody out there that even though we are down in the trenches writing every day, and we can sometimes get tired of it, and we know it's not glamorous. People are thrilled when you introduce yourself as either a writer or an author. And the follow up to that is, what's your book? And so this is just another great way to do that. And you never know, you could be in line at the DMV and make a sale if you have got a great cocktail pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I once made a sale at a stoplight. So because
That's,
I
were you in a car? Please tell me you were in a car with the
no,
window
no,
rolled
I
down.
was
Oh,
walking. I was in Hollywood, like the actual part of LA called Hollywood. And I talked to everyone and I was talking to someone. And by the time we crossed the street, I'd made the sale. So you
nice.
just never know
Way to
when
go.
opportunity is going to strike. So
Yeah,
I always tell people you want to be prepared to pitch anytime, any place to anybody.
that's
And
awesome.
if you have your cocktail pitch, you're going to feel less oogie about pitching and more excited and confident to share your project because you love your story and your love for your story should be infectious when you talk to everyone. I saw the eye roll, Jeff Elkins. I saw it for those of you
Oh,
listening.
some of us seriously doubt our stories and aren't quite ready. Yeah, anyway, we're not gonna, this is not about psychoanalyzing me today. Uh, so I had people who write in, I had them break down their pitches into four components.
Okay.
Working title, if they have it. I'm warning you because this is how I'm going to read them to you.
Right.
Log line. I'm sorry, working title, if they have it. Comps. This means that.
Mhm.
Log line. And then longer pitch for, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more.
Okay, so that's close to the cocktail pitch. The cocktail pitch is you start with your genre and your format, and that's because this originated for screenwriters, and you
Mhm.
want to be able to say this is a 1 hour drama or this is a comedy. So you guys would still say, I'm a novelist and this is a romantasy or this is a middle grade book or whatever it is, because that immediately grounds whoever you're listening to. And if I am a potential sale or a potential agent or whoever it is, and I'm not looking for a romantasy, it's my opportunity to say, you know what, that's not really my thing. And
Mhm.
it's your opportunity to say, oh, well, I have this other thing, and then pitch something else you think they might like. So every no is still positive because you're looking for your people who really love your kind of story and they're out there.
Yeah.
So you start with your format and your genre, and then you're
Which
gonna
I just
go.
totally forgot. That's 100% my fault.
No, 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 it's fine.
Part of it is my aversion to genre. I've blocked it from my mind.
See, you and I differ. I'm all about genre and tropes, which I'm sure is
Yeah.
gonna come up a lot in this discussion. Then you're gonna pivot to what Jeff calls comps and what I call touchstones. And so those are your things that your story is like or that it sits adjacent to. And a lot of people balk at this because they're like, my thing is original and there's nothing out there like
There's
it.
nothing like what I've done. Nothing at all.
And if that is true, you're in trouble because no one is going to understand what you did. So, having things that are like your thing is a positive because it helps people understand what you're doing. Usually, now you wouldn't want to use this on the back of your book blurbs, but in pitching, it's good. So, I usually tell people to use movies and TV shows because more people watch than read. And you want to pick things that are popular and that have made money. Don't use as one of your comps some bizarre Swedish movie only five people in the US saw, right? Um, for instance, my project that Jeff is helping me with, I pitch as The Mummy in the Old West. So if you hear that, it doesn't give away what it is. There's still opportunity to pitch, but you've got an idea of what we're dealing with. It's not a romantasy. It's an action adventure with some comedy, right? You know a little bit about it. So those are your touchstones, and you can use them three ways: the Hollywood way, X meets Y, or which is like Frozen meets the Avengers.
Mhm.
And that I hear that and I'm like, okay, well, that's some kind of superhero fairy tale thing. All right. I like both of those. Or your touchstone in a setting like I did, The Mummy in the Old West.
Mhm.
Or you can just say for fans of The Princess Bride and Frozen. I'll be like, oh, a funny fairy tale that's probably a romance, but it could be about sisters. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. So that's how I use touchstones. And I know that Jeff in his dialogue doctor exercises has people find those, and it's just super helpful for finding your audience and your readers. Then we're going to go into
Well, and can I say I use those touchstones at, like, when I'm selling in person and I set up a table. That's
mhm.
when somebody asks me like, "Hey, what's this book about?" I'll be like, "Oh, it is Sherlock Holmes meets The Mentalist," or it's like, something of that nature, because that touchstone, you can tell right away if they're interested in it or not, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason you do it. And it's another thing that helps you A, find your audience or your people, but B, it helps ground who's ever listening in your story. Because even though you know your story and your story world, it you want to get whoever's listening to your pitch into it immediately,
Mhm.
right? So that's part two. Part three is the emotional hook. And so this is kind of the hardest thing to figure out, but once you get it, it's just going to be so helpful in your marketing and everything that you do. It's the big emotional kind of question or situation that underlies your story. And the way I introduce it is two ways. I like to ask a question and I like to sometimes use archetypes. So an example is, I love high school stuff. So it is like the geeks versus the jocks. It would be an example of archetypes. A question would be, do you remember what it was like when you were trying to go to sleep when you were 5 and you were afraid there was a monster in your closet or under your bed? So those are things that we're kind of tapping into universal feelings and experiences that everyone has had. And again, you're all of these things are A, helping to ground the reader or the listener and draw them into your pitch. Sometimes if you do it right, you've already got your tell me more by now. So the next thing is we're going to introduce your main character and his or her emotional want or need for your story. Now, you may have more than one main character, especially if it's a romance. If it's like an epic fantasy, you might feel like you have 6 main characters. Pick one. Pick one. Don't talk about everybody here. You're not going to get to your tell me more if you overwhelm the reader or listener with information, and a bunch of proper names and introductions to characters is going to be confusing. So pick one. My favorite one to use when I teach is Katniss Everdeen, because she's just so cool. So Katniss Everdeen is a young girl whose selfless sacrifice to save her sister's life starts a revolution. Now, to me, you've got your tell me more right now, because I'm like, oh no, what did she do to save her sister's life? How did she start the revolution? Is she going to, I want to know all the things already.
Mhm.
That it, pick your main character who is the most emotional drive, is in the most emotional situation. Emotion sells. It's what grabs people. So then we go to the story appetizer, which is 3 to 4 sentences about the rest of your story. So, but you're still talking about your main character you just introduced. I'm not going to get into the president. I'm not going to explain the Hunger Games. I'm not going to talk about the love triangle. I'm going to skip all that. I'm going to focus on Katniss. And you want to end with a cliffhanger, which is a question. A cliffhanger is just like it sounds. You're ending your telling of your story with a will they or won't they? And it's usually, is your main character going to succeed? So for Katniss, is she going to save her sister's life? Or if you've given a little bit of background in your story appetizer, you could start with a new question, which is, all right, to win the Hunger Games, she's going to have to make this decision. Does she kill her best friend? Right.
Mhm.
So that is the cocktail pitch in an essence to get to your tell me more.
I love it.
Did I leave anything out, Jeff?
No, you nailed it. Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
righty, ready.
So, and I didn't give these submitters any guidance. I just said like, hey, short, long. So let's not be, I don't think any of them are going to fit the exact
Oh,
formula, but
that's
yeah.
fine. I just want this is how I'm going to give notes
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
is
Yeah,
talk
that's
about all this stuff. So it's
yeah.
good we went over it.
Yeah, I didn't want you to be so like, Jeff, didn't you coach these people? I coached no one.
Well, I
Um,
think that's good
yeah.
because then they're going to, and oh, by the way, this is really hard. So I don't want anyone to get discouraged by the feedback. You don't nail this on the first try. And that's why opportunities like this, or one-on-one with your friends or your
Yeah.
critique group or the dialoggers, are great, because it's hard skill, and it takes some iteration to get to the best version of your pitch.
It's tough. Yeah.
Even
Um,
log lines are
oh,
worse.
yeah, yeah, it's so hard. Um, okay, here we go. Pitch number one. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Syndrome Sisters Rock Out in Paris is the title.
Okay.
Peanut Butter Falcon meets The Hangover.
Okay.
Rosie and her friends, all protagonists with Down syndrome or autism, meet up in Paris for a wedding in Rockapalooza, but accidentally get caught up in a bank heist, and they have to get back before the wedding.
Okay. All right. First of all, this sounds amazing. I want to see this movie. Um, I don't know. I didn't know one of the touchstones. I'm sorry, guys. It may be that I just am not up to speed with things. What is peanut butter?
I'm looking it up. I think it's a movie from the no, it's from 19 it's from 2000. Oh, that's what it is. Peanut Butter Falcon is about a young man with Down syndrome who escapes the home that he lives in and travels across the country to find his favorite wrestler.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. It starts Shia LaBeouf. It's 2019.
Oh, okay.
He does not play the Downs person.
No, I remember I remember the movie. I did not remember that title. So I
Yeah.
apologize to the author. Okay. Um, and what's the title again? Something syndrome?
Syndrome Sisters Rock Out in
Okay.
Paris. And it's
In
actually
Paris.
longer. I cut part of it. I'm sorry. I know who this writer is, and she'll forgive me. Syndrome Sisters Rock Out and get married maybe in Paris.
Okay. So I just want to tell you when I hear this, now that I know the whole thing, I understand what the Syndrome Sisters are. But when you first said it with no information, I thought it was the name of a rock band.
Hmm.
Do they have a rock band in the thing named that?
No, they do
Okay.
not. No,
Okay.
they are
So
going to a rock concert in
right,
Paris,
right,
but
right,
they
right.
do not have a
But
rock
they could
band.
be
Yeah,
performing too. So okay.
yeah.
So I love alliteration. I love the way it sounds. But Syndrome Sisters plus Rock Out, I really it sounded like a cool rock band to me. Um, so would have to massage that a little bit. I think that might be a good tagline or some version of it, but as the title slash logline, it doesn't work because I don't know what Syndrome Sisters
Mhm.
are, and so I made it up in my mind that it was a
Yeah,
rock group. So, and are they biological sisters or just sisters in
they're just
friendship?
buddies.
Okay. So I would say as a logline, two best friends. And how old are they? Since you know the
They're
project.
college age,
Okay. So like late teens, early 20s.
early 20s.
Okay. Two best friends, comma 20, because you can do that in a log line.
Hmm.
Go on the adventure of a lifetime in Paris, meeting rock stars and having romances. And the icing on the cake is they're doing it all with Down syndrome. Now that's a little bit too it's not it's a little bit snobby, I guess, but the feeling is you want to get the Down syndrome in, but I think it's an add-on
Mm.
because it's like they're doing all this amazing stuff and they have Down syndrome, or however the person wants to.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
that's
what
a.
the right
I
verbiage
think
is.
I think the author is going to be down with that too
Oh,
because that's very much how they're telling the story.
that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then and and I would also, well, you haven't done the rest of it, or is that it?
No,
That's
there's a long there's a
there's
there's
the
the
tell me
tell me
more,
more.
right?
Do you want the tell
Okay.
me more?
Well, I just hope they have Madcap Mayhem or something in there because it just seemed if it's like their touchstone is the hangover, we want to really get the tone of the zaniness. So
Here it
okay, go.
comes.
Okay, hit me.
Rosie has one rule. Nothing gets in the way of her dream. She's poured everything into her small bakery in Virginia Beach and now finally has the chance to level up. An exclusive invite to a private tasting with some of the top pastry chefs in Paris. She nails it. Oh, if she nails it, she could land a dream mentorship or at least some major hype from her bakery. Sure, she's also technically there for her best friend's wedding, but business comes first, always. Enter Taylor, the groom's best friend. Charming, spontaneous, and a total romantic who's been quietly crushing on Rosie since they met. He's happy to tag along, even uninvited, when Rosie races off to squeeze in one last pastry meeting before the wedding. But when the two of them jump into a sleek electric rideshare outside of the Pastier, I can't say that word.
Patisserie.
There you go. I'm never going to try. Things go sideways fast. Turns out It's not their rideshare. It's a getaway car for the biggest bank heist in Paris. Now they're trapped in a moving target, an electric getaway car hijacked remotely by thieves, a trunk overloaded with an absurd number of gold bars, and half of Paris law enforcement in hot pursuit. Suddenly, making it back to the wedding is the least of their worries. As Rosie and her accidental accomplice dive deep into the chaos, from underground speakeasy to the mistaken identities and baguettes that definitely aren't bakery grade, she's forced to confront a different kind of recipe, one that demands risk, trust, and maybe even love. Will she make it to her dream meetings, the wedding, out of Paris in one piece? Or will the only thing she accomplishes be get iced before the wedding cake does? Be getting iced before the wedding cake does.
Okay. I actually really like all that. It's just too long. So the poor author is going to have to cut some of her darlings. And I would end it after. Can you just read the bit again where they're in the car and it's a getaway car for the
Yeah.
heist?
Turns out it's not their rideshare. It's a getaway car for the biggest bank heist in Paris. Now they're trapped in a moving target, an electric getaway car hijacked remotely by thieves, a trunk overloaded with an absurd amount of gold bars, and half of Paris law enforcement in hot pursuit. Suddenly, making it back to the wedding is the least of their worries.
That's where I would stop it. Because that's a cliffhanger right there. And she set up the meetings and the wedding already, so you don't need to circle back to that. And I think I also think I would look at the intro where she's talking about the workaholic Rosie and all
Hmm.
that stuff, and cut some of it. There's a little bit too much information there, but it's a great premise. I mean, super, super fun. That's totally a Lindsay movie. I want to read it, watch it, whatever.
Is it a problem that nowhere in the tell me more description does she mention that all of these characters have Down syndrome or autism?
Yes, it is, but it's just I don't know. She's got such good flow there. Um, I think what I would do is mention it when you're talking about the bakery.
Okay.
Um, um, this isn't right, but something like some thought everything was stacked against her, but she's a huge deal in her little tiny town, or something
Hmm.
in there as part of her character. And that also, to tie it into why she's so business focused, is because she's trying to exceed expectations.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think that's how I would do it.
Yeah. 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 I think that's great.
Yeah, you do need to, unfortunately, you do need to mention it. Otherwise, I'm picturing, I'm thinking of people that are too old now, but Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise like 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You might have something like, no one expected Rosie, a woman with Down syndrome, to have an award-winning bakery, but not only has her dreams come true in Virginia Beach, she's been called to Paris to
Mhm.
study under the best bakers in the world.
Yes.
That's something like that might get up.
Yeah, just yes,
Yeah.
work it in up at the top.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on that one?
No, I think again, I think the author did a good job, and it's just, and this is your first pass. This is almost always too long because you want to include so many fun things, but all that fun stuff that we cut, she can still mention if she's talking to someone and they get into conversation and they're asking her more questions about her book.
Yeah.
So, having like a second tell me more isn't bad if someone's interested.
Nice. I like that. And I do like this line at the end. Will the only thing she accomplishes be getting iced before the wedding cake does? That's really clever.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, that also could be a tagline.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a great tagline.
Um, okay. Good. Any other thoughts?
No, quickly though, I should talk about the difference between a tagline and a log line.
Yeah.
So, a log line is a one sentence description of your story that includes the main character, their emotional want or need, the concept, and sometimes the beginning, middle, and end. It's like you got to pack a lot of stuff into it. It's when you're paging through the guide on your TV, it's that one sentence description of the movie or the TV episode. A tagline conveys the tone or the concept, and it's something you use to sell. So back to the movie analogy, it's the line on the poster. So my favorite example is The Edge of Tomorrow, and it's live, die, repeat.
Yeah.
Right. So so that's the difference. But when we're working on this stuff, if you guys have something extra sexy, I'll probably say that could be a good tagline. Taglines are hard too. It's all challenging.
Yeah. Okay, pitch number 2.
Okay, I'm ready.
Red clown shoe murder. There's no comps for this one.
Okay.
Or no touchdowns for this one. So short pitch. The body of long ago murdered vaudeville comedian is discovered in a demolished suburban Chicago theater. His killer's wealthy descendants don't want him identified or his cold case murder solved.
Okay, cool. So this is what we've got here is short and sweet. It's like almost like a 2-sentence log line. What's the title again?
Red Clown Shoe Murder.
Okay, first of all, that's a cool title. I like it. I'm a murder mystery.
I can see the cover now. It's great.
I know me too. I'm a murder mystery buff. I love stories where you've got an old murder that gets dug up and is screwing up people's lives in the present. So there's lots of juicy stuff here. What we're missing is who our main character is. So who is the person who's trying to solve the murder and what their emotional stake is in it. Now, if murder mysteries, let's talk a little bit about murder mysteries. So usually from a novelist point of view, they're in a series, right? And so you have detectives that never change over the course of 20 books. Jack Reacher doesn't change. He just is who he is. Then you have detectives that change a tiny bit. They have an arc over 20 books. I'm reading one now where she started off this cold mechanical assassin and she's slowly opening her heart and making friends. And now she's in a relationship and she's focused on home. Both are great. You just have to know what you're doing. James Bond is another one. He doesn't ever really change. He's always kind of the same guy. So if you are doing something like that, where your detective doesn't change, your emotion might be the stakes of solving the murder, like the client or whoever you're helping by solving the murder. Or since this is a cold case, maybe the detective has an emotional stake in it himself. But we need to know something about the detective and what he's up against. So it sounds like this is a conspiracy. Again, love that kind of thing where there are bad guys everywhere. And we need to know what is at stake for the bad guys too. And it's probably got to connect with our detective.
And you want all of that in like the initial short pitch. You want like that. You want to know who the detective is in the initial short.
Yeah. So
pitch.
I was going by the cocktail pitch formula where you want to introduce the main character.
Yeah.
Your detective has to be appealing because that's who people are experiencing the mystery through his, and I'm saying him, guys. I don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but you're experiencing the mystery through his eyes. And so you have to have a connection to him, even if it's just that you like him or you think he's cool. Sherlock Holmes is not emotional, but he's interesting. Miss Marple is emotional because she's nursing a broken heart from World War I, and she sees the evil under ordinary people's lives. So you just have to find that thing, and it doesn't have to be super deep and complicated like the Katniss example, but we need to understand who this guy is, so we want to solve the mystery with him. And it seems like in this instance he probably has a stake in the old mystery. I don't know, this is just me putting my spin on it, and that could be your emotional hook.
Yeah, and I think there's with that like emotional hook for the detective, How do you feel about this? A lot of times I'll see writers do a like single personality trait and then like interesting fact about the detective and like a like phrase they use all the time. So like James Bond is like, the suave special agent with a license to kill
Right.
is like the like, how do you feel about like, so like in a series, you just use that phrase in every book description that detective exists in.
I think so. I think so. Like I've been reading another one that's about a two people. It's a cozy mystery, and they own a tea and tarot shop in Southern California or Northern
Hmm.
California, anyway. And so it's a tea and tarot shop in California. Like already,
Yeah.
I kind of know who we're dealing with, and then they can't help but stick their nose in every time they well, they have a habit of stumbling across dead bodies, as every detective does, and they can't help but stick their nose in something. Yeah,
Yeah.
some brief description like that is going to be hooky. And
Nice.
then this seems like a conspiracy, so I want a little hint about, you don't, in your cocktail pitch, you want to try to avoid talking about your bad guy,
Hmm.
but you can bring him up if you need to in the story appetizer. But I at least want to know why this cold case is affecting people in the present.
Nice.
Like
All
there's
right.
a Dennis Lahan book where the detective is investigating this murder, and then he connects it to serial killers in the past, and then it gets
Hmm.
connected to his dad, right? And so if you're doing past murders, we need to understand the connection to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
to the present. So I want to know that now, because that's going to lead to your tell me more, because I'm sure just based on the few sentences you read me, they've got a great reason. Like it sounds, I'm already intrigued just by the setup, but
Yeah.
from a pitch perspective, I want to hear some emotion too.
Okay, let's hit the tell me more.
Okay.
It's a short one. It's only one paragraph. Uh, Red Clown Shoe wearing obese Charlie Chaplin style vaudeville comedian is murdered for his homogeneous diamond stick pin during his last performance decades ago. But a newly graduated forensic genealogist is determined to solve this cold case using DNA to identify him and uncover who killed him, despite being threatened by the killer's descendants who don't want it solved ever. You need
Okay.
me to read that, Ellen? That was a
No,
lot.
no, no, no. I
Okay.
got it. So, okay. So I like this. Tell me more, because it introduces our detective. Um, I think we need a, and this is a reason why he or she is so determined. And the cliche thing is that she's trying to start her career, right?
Hmm.
Something. Oh, by the way, if that's your reason, that's great. I'm just trying
Yeah. Or ignored
picking
by
one,
or ignored by her peers. That's the other big like,
right?
yeah.
Or she loves vaudeville or something. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what it is, but it's, and it is, again, I love things where murders in the past have reverberations through the time to the present. I think it's super cool. So we just need to know a tiny more about it, and I think this tell me more, it needs to maybe go up at the top.
Hmm. Yeah.
And um so they know he's an obese vaudeville clown. Why don't they know his name? I guess
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused about that, because
I think they would know his name. I just don't think it's listed in the description.
okay.
Yeah. Which names
um
are good. They're grounding.
yes,
Yeah.
and you can say famous cold case. I mean, there's all the,
Mhm.
every city has them, it's like their version of the Black Dahlia or the Fatty Arbuckle case, and those two in LA. Something like that
Hmm.
too. Very cool though.
Yeah, I like it. I will say, like, just based on your character, newly graduated forensic genealogist. And I'm saying this because often when I tell authors what I'm hearing them say about their main character, they're like, that's not who it is at all. I'm like, well, so that communicates to me like young, naive, and nerdy.
Yes.
So if that's what you're going for, you nailed it. But if that's not what you're
And
going for,
and I don't know, I now that I know what it is, I think I've switched and now I think the detective is a girl. So I don't know. But anyways, um so that character, they're going to have problems because to solve the murder they're going to have to go out of the lab.
yeah,
And
that's
so
the
we're going
like
to
trope
see,
for the nerdy.
yeah,
Yeah.
how the out of the lab person handles things. And I always refer Alec Baldwin as in the Tom Clancy, I forget, Jack Ryan in The Hunt for Red October, as they're parachuting him into the ocean. He's like, but I'm an analyst. I mean, he keeps saying it, but I'm an analyst every time they put him somewhere. And so I think, but that's fun. Having a character out of their element gives you lots of juicy opportunities for conflict and fun action and all the rest. So
Yeah, I did always think that example's funny because Alec Baldwin may be the least nerdy person in the world. But so there's
but he had glasses, Jeff.
I know they put glasses on him until, but he takes them off in the first 5 minutes and then he never
I
puts
know.
them back on. Yeah. Okay, good. Any other thoughts for that one before we move on to
No,
number three?
it's super cool. I can't wait to read that one either. I'm a murder mystery
Nice.
person.
Okay, pitch
Oh,
number
wait,
three.
you know what? Something did just, so you need to think about, is it a cozy mystery or is it a hard-boiled mystery? Because, and where it sits and work a little bit of that tone into your
That's a good
cocktail
idea.
pitch. Because it sounds like it could go either way.
And touchstones will help with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, pitch number three.
Okay.
Flight out of time.
Cool.
All right, short description. Flight Out of Time combines the high stakes group survival scenario of Stephen King's The Legionnaires with the pulse pounding, mysterious lost world elements of Michael Crichton's timeline. As an airline crew and passengers face a vanished civilization and ancient threats in a world outside of time and rescue.
Okay. All right. This sounds really cool. I don't read it again. Read
Okay.
the last sentence again about what they face.
Yeah.
Okay.
As an airline crew and passengers face a vanished civilization and ancient threats in a world outside of time and rescue.
Okay. First of all, I would say instead of face, I would make it more active, like must work together to survive
Yeah.
XYZ. So vanished civilization is a little bit confusing to me. I don't know if it means, if the author intends to say they're in a version of Earth which has no humans, or if they land at like on the ruins of Atlantis or something. So
I assume like a Bermuda Triangle type thing, but that was I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know this.
I don't know, because I thought something else. So
Yeah.
that's a sign that we both had our really different thoughts, that we need to go back and find a different way to say that. And what does it say after vanished civilization?
And ancient threats in a world outside of time and rescue.
Okay.
Is it so?
Good.
Michael Crichton's timeline. I'm looking it up real quick just to make sure I'm right.
Yeah, remind me.
Michael Crichton's timeline is from 1999.
Okay.
Is that too far away to be a usable touchstone?
Well, yeah, yes and no, because like I'm using The Mummy and that's 1999. I think so. I can't.
You did just drop Alec Baldwin's Hunt for October. I think there's been 3 Jack Ryans since then.
I know, but I'm an analyst. I know. I think I like it as a touchstone. Michael Crichton is a sexy name, so I don't think it's a negative. There might be a time shifting thing closer to the it was released, much closer to where we are now.
Yeah, as somebody who obsessively read Michael Crichton as a kid, it's that one's about students that go back in time to rescue a professor, if I remember right.
Is that the one where, oh no, that was Ray Bradbury. Okay. Okay. I don't think you need to know exactly what it is because timeline, we know it's time travel. So I'm not bothered, but maybe they can find a better touchstone. I just want to nail down the vanished civilization thing.
Hmm.
I understand ancient technology, but I want to be clear. Is it a, are they on a, is it like, are they on a new planet and they're
Hmm.
discovering and everything's in ruins and they discover an ancient technology? Or is it the vanished civilization,
Like
meaning,
Atlantis. Yeah.
yeah, is it like that? Or are they in an alternate universe where there's like Earth was never populated by
Hmm.
people? I don't, I just need a little bit more clarification. It all sounds super cool though. Like I would totally read it. So what is after vanished civilization? Oh, technology,
Ancient threats, not
ancient
technology.
threats.
Ancient
Okay.
threats in a world outside of time and rescue.
Okay, isn't it so funny? I could have sworn it said ancient technology. So that just shows you guys how, when your listener or your reader, it doesn't know your story, how we just make it up.
Hmm.
And so you want to make sure you're, it's this tightrope of, you don't want to vomit everything because you want to make it mysterious and get to your tell me more, but you need to be specific enough that you don't, because when you're talking to people like me and Jeff, we are so imaginative, we will run off into the cornfield with like one word. So so really think about your three, your ancient, your vanished civilization and your ancient threat and what you
Hmm.
mean, and maybe you want to adjust those words. Okay, hit me
Yes.
with the tell me more.
A slip of time, an American Flight 67 falls into the past. Desperate to land, they are forced onto an isolated island in the Bahamas. Those who live come face to face with a forgotten people they must win over to survive. But not all of the natives are happy with the disruption of the new arrivals. The attempt to forge a new republic will be tested by the brute realities of ancient of the age, and not all survivors pursue the same destiny. An airline is swept back in time to 19 to 1490s and crashes in the Bahamas. The survivors use their knowledge and technology to create a new republic formed amongst the natives still living in the Stone Age. As they struggle to survive, they have to overcome internal divisions and deal with the regional chiefdoms that covet their knowledge and riches. This is the first book in a trilogy that will include the arrival of Christopher Columbus, the Spanish conquistadors, and the survivors' attempts to rewrite history.
Okay, well that sounds so cool. I think, okay, I'm sorry, Jeff, can you read the whole tell me more again, because I want to move some
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
around.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. A slip of time, an American Flight 67 falls into the past. Desperate to land, they're forced onto an isolated island in the Bahamas. Those who live come face to face with a forgotten people they must win over to survive. But
Okay,
not,
stop.
okay, yeah.
Okay. So that could be, it depends on how much information the author wants to give away. Okay.
Hmm.
You could stop there and say, this is going to be the first in a trilogy as our survivors must figure out how to build a new society. Christopher Columbus shows up and now they're going to change history, or something better than that. I mean, it's
Hmm.
already in there. Or you could not stop there and keep going, but we need to tighten up the rest of it because there's too much information about the I don't care that there's more than one native faction. It's too confusing.
Hmm.
So I would cut that and just say, basically, it's the colonists or the Americans versus the natives, but then you've got this ancient threat in there too. So it's too many things. Okay, hold on.
And there's a political aspect to it as well, where they're like trying to create a republic amongst.
Yes.
It's a
So
lot. Like I like it all, but it is very like.
so it's too many. It's, so you've got the time slip,
Hmm.
you've got the crash landing, the
Hmm.
surviving the landing, you have them using 21st century technology to survive. dealing with natives, some who want to be their friends, some who are their enemies.
Mm-hmm.
This ancient, evil, other magical thing, them trying to build a republic and trying to change history, right? Did
Yeah.
I leave anything out? Okay,
No.
that's 8 things. And that is all. And then 9 if you can include what's coming. So all that is really cool. But my suggestion is you can make 2 to 3 of those because you need the time travel thing. So I'm going to let you keep that one. But then you have to figure out which of the things that Jeff and I just listed is the most important to you personally and to your story. Because, and this goes for everyone that I'm evaluating today. What lights me up about your pitch or what lights Jeff up may not be what lights you up. And there's no right or wrong about it. So if I'm getting excited about a part of your story that you're about when you love this other thing, retool your pitch to focus on the other thing. Mm-hmm. This one, it's all interesting to me, but it's all complicated and it's too much stuff to throw at someone who doesn't know your project. So, like I said, so pick one thing to marry with your time travel thing. And I don't know if it's I don't know what it is because I don't know the project.
I'd recommend picking whatever your inciting incident is.
Yeah.
Because you want the reader to get to whatever you've hooked them with, you want them to get to right away.
Right.
So like if they're not building a republic by like chapter 4, then I wouldn't use that as your hook.
Okay, no on the republic. Okay, and I was raised by a constitutional scholar, so I could talk republics all day, but it's very intellectual. It's not emotional, and a lot of people, if they hear that, they'll be like, "This sounds like homework." So I understand it's important to you because you mentioned it, and it can get very dramatic in your story, but don't put it in your pitch.
This feels I'm just going to add something else, Lindsay, because I know you've said this before. This feels very world buildy as well. Mm-hmm. And there's no character in this to ground to.
That's true too.
So I'd love to be like, the pilot of flight, American Flight 76, falls is his worst nightmare when his plane falls into a time slip. He has to help his crew and passengers survive.
Or it's not even that. It's like it's his worst nightmare when he has to make an emergency landing on an obscure Caribbean island and things get worse when they realize they've somehow fallen back through time and they're on this island in the middle of nowhere with nothing to survive with but the plane. Mm-hmm. And to make matters worse, like this is the lost thing. And to make matters worse, the polar bear leaps out and drags someone away. Like that can be your hook at the very end. To make matters worse, they run into the ancient evil or the big magical thing.
Yeah, you can even be like the natives aren't friendly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So something of that. Yeah.
So it's too much information and not enough emotion, and we need someone to hook. So I'm sure you've got a leader. So pick him or her and make it about them.
Yeah.
Or they, make it about them.
Okay, next pitch. I'm going to move this along because I've gone too slow. I talked to you too much at the opening, so we got to keep going. Or I'll have you here for like 3 hours.
Well, we can run over a little bit. That's fine.
Okay. Pitch number 4.
Okay.
Frayed Edges. The Maid meets Red London. I think those are books. I don't know. I didn't recognize
The Maid is a book. I don't know Red London, but I like the title. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So short pitch: a retired neurodivergent cryptographer vacationing in Croatia with her former Interpol partner looks to clues left by her mother decades earlier to stop an oligarch from holding global trade hostage.
Okay. I love this character because she sounds really interesting. So I love the character in the setup. I think lots of people don't know what an oligarch is. It's a big word. It's kind of like forming a republic in the last pitch. So come up with, and holding trade hostage is so unemotional. It's like when they made that Star Wars movie about the trade wars. It just no. So find a way to explain what he's doing that is sexier and more emotional and more grabby. But she sounds super interesting. So you just from her, you might get to your tell me more.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
what do we think? Do we know what country she's from?
No.
I might put that since they're in Croatia and it's Interpol. So for some reason, I think
Mm,
she's British. Sorry, I don't know.
yeah, might
So
be.
I might put where she's from.
Yeah.
American
Nice.
Emily, who's neuro, whatever it
Yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next, you want the bigger? You're
Yep,
ready
yep,
for
yep,
Tell Me More?
yep.
All right. While house sitting in Croatia, Avery Danvers, a retired cryptographer, and her partner, Gareth Evans. I know this book. Sorry, it took me, I was like, I know this book. I know this book. Let me start over again. But this is a good book. While house sitting in Croatia, Avery Daniels, a retired cryptographer, and her partner, Gareth Evans, a former Interpol agent, continue to be haunted by the specter of operations past as new oligarch takes power and threatens to finish what his predecessor failed to complete. Avery, who is neurodivergent, must couple her extraordinary ciphering skills with clues left by her mother decades earlier to stop an oligarch from holding global trade hostage. It's a race against time as puzzle pieces from the past and present fall into place one by one, and Avery learns that the dead cast long shadows.
Ooh, I love that's a great
It's a
cliffhanger.
solid
Ooh,
tagline. The dead cast long shadows.
yes,
That's
and
great.
it's a great tagline. I
Yeah.
love that turn of phrase. Okay. There's a couple things this is very tight, so I definitely give it a thumbs up. There's just a couple things that need clarification. So again, we need find a different way to say oligarch and trade war. I don't know if you want to make it about he's holding antibiotics hostage, something that we understand why it's so he's got control of the oil in Russia and everyone's in Western Europe is going to freeze to death this winter, something. And instead of oligarch, you could say CEO X or
Tech billionaire.
yeah, thug Y, whatever it is. And then I again, I understand you're trying to be mysterious, but I need the connection between the mom and in the past and what's happening in the present. I don't
Mm,
understand why the mom just wouldn't tell Avery things. Why she had to leave these cryptic clues.
yeah.
So just a sentence about it, like for her own safety, mom left a music box or something. I
Mhm.
don't know what it is. Open this in case of my death, but I want to know why she couldn't just have a comfort. Clearly, she's passed away, but why she just didn't tell her daughter before she
Mm.
left, before she died, what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's great.
it sounds very cool. Cryptography I find so
It's a
interesting.
really good book. I did
Yeah.
some work on this one a while ago, but
Well, cool.
it's really great.
Well, I can't.
Yeah.
Another one right up my alley. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Pitch number 5. The Fairy King. 10,000 Doors of January meets Fate, a Wicks saga. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. When Marcy's father disappears on her 21st birthday into Otherworld, Marcy must join forces with the mysterious guardians of Otherworld to save him. But the truth she uncovers may mean saving herself instead.
okay.
I had to make sure I read that last part right. I did. The truth she uncovers may mean saving herself
I
instead.
no, I like all that. I want it. Can I hear it again though?
Yeah.
Okay.
When Marcy, I'm always tempted to like try to read it dramatically, but I'm very bad at that, so we're not going to do that.
Okay.
When Marcy's father disappears on the 21st birthday, oh, sorry, when Marcy's father disappears on her 21st birthday into Otherworld, Marcy must join forces with the mysterious guardians of the Otherworld to save him. But the truth she uncovers may mean saving herself instead.
I like all of that. I feel like it's a tiny bit generic. I want to something I'm trying to give you a good note here. I want a little, maybe what would make it feel more specific and jazzier is if we had a little bit more information about Marcy's personality or the mysterious guardian guy. I mean, is there going to be some romance between the two of them? Is this a romantasy? Is there going to be some tension? I'm looking for something, some emotion besides the dad, like, or if she doesn't find him, is he going to die? Is it up to, is there a ticking clock before he's dead?
Yeah.
Does she need him to get her inheritance? I just need a little bit more information and something. Let's make Marcy special in some way, because
Yeah.
right
So
now
like,
I don't have enough information about her.
yeah. So like maybe like when Shy and withering Marcy's
Yes.
father disappears, or when Punk Rock and
That's so funny. That's what I
Take
was
No
going to say.
Prisoners Marcy's father disappears
Yeah.
on her 21st birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I
Something
was
like
picturing her
connect us
rock and
to him.
roller. Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
And then I know this person she teams up with is mysterious. Has she ever met him before? Why does he agree to help her?
Yeah. I think
What's
it's a
in
whole
it for
team.
him?
It's Guardians of the Other World. So I
Oh,
think she teams up with a whole team.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's just my bad reading. That's not.
Okay. Even so, I appreciate them not naming the whole team.
Yeah.
But why? What is in it for them? Why do they agree to help her? Is it an unlikely alliance, or have they been best friends since childhood?
Yeah.
Like what's the glue that's holding them together? And then what's going to be the conflict as they're trying to solve the problem? That might help jazz it up a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the bigger
Okay.
picture.
Some of my questions may be answered. Let's see.
Marcy is having a terrible 21st birthday.
Okay, love that. Love that.
First, she is chased through New York City by the Headless Horseman. Then she finds out her father has disappeared, kidnapped by the Fairy King. To top it all off, her boyfriend reveals he's actually a vampire. In
Okay.
order,
I'm
in order,
loving it.
nice. In order to save her father, Marcy must cross into Otherworld and join forces with 5 Guardians of Otherworld, a band of magical warriors, each sorry, I'm going to start that over. In in order to save her father, Marcy must cross into Otherworld and join forces with 5 Guardians of the Otherworld, a band of magical warriors, each haunted by hidden secrets and hidden pasts. Leading them is Alec, a magical raven shapeshifter whose motives are as shadowy as his past, who may have either who may either be helping Marcy or using her. The deeper Marcy falls into Otherworld, she begins to uncover a buried power hidden deep within her. When the Fairy King demands she give up her magic, she must make the devastating choice to save her father or herself.
Okay. I love that. You can tell I was laughing and stuff. So this is the complete opposite of what you read before. So this has all this personality and zing. So to everyone listening or watching, this is a great example of how hard log lines are. It is so hard to make 1 or 2 sentences have the personality and zing. And I love that she's having a crappy birthday. I mean, you had me right there. Who hasn't had a crappy birthday? Everyone, right? So that's that's an emotional hook. And then the world is wonderful and fun. So I think what I would urge the author to go back and pare down the log line a little bit and add some of the personality from this into the log line. Now, the good news is that the other thing that's going to help is saying the genre. So this is, I don't know if this is urban fantasy or regular fantasy, because it's like part urban, part portal kind of.
It feels like YA fantasy romance.
Okay. So
I don't know if
say
that's
that.
right or not. If it's not, you can like
because it's
stalk
like
me
it starts
later.
off urban and then they go into this other world, but it's super funny. So you nailed this, whoever this is, and this is a great back of book blurb. And I would start your log line with what you've got, which is, well, my story is about Marcy, who has the worst 21st birthday on the planet because she's chased through New York by the Headless Horseman. And it all culminates in, she finds out her boyfriend's a vampire. She breaks up with him. Then her dad's missing. And she's launched on this crazy magical adventure with this hot guy who has his own reasons for helping her. And he may or may not be good. That's,
Yeah.
So
And this is just my preference, but I would still love a couple descriptors of Marcy.
yeah.
We don't really get any descriptor of her until we get to uncover a buried power hidden deep within her. But so like up front, like Marcy's having a terrible 21st birthday, maybe like, bookish and shy Marcy is having a terrible 21st birthday, or like something of that nature.
Or I like that sentence though. So you start off with that sentence and then you say things have never been great. She's always been a loser. She's always been a geeker. She's the it girl. And now things are going south, something.
Yeah.
But I like starting with just.
You like the plain straight Marcy's
I like
having a
slamming
terrible,
us into it because it's really funny.
Nice.
The other thing in this thing that the part 2 that you read is I don't think we need to know, and the author may differ with me, but I don't think we need to know she's got magic in her. I just like that she has to make this terrible choice, save her dad or herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other detail in there. I don't think we need
What
that.
else going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of, I just say, if they're looking to hit the trope, it's implied by the line, who may either be helping Marcy or using her.
Yeah.
That phrase, or using her, to me communicates. I read that and I was like, oh, she's got magic. Like I think
she's
that's
either
the
got
trope.
magic or knowledge.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason her dad was kidnapped. It's they want something from this family. So yeah.
On her 21st birthday. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Pitch number 6.
Okay.
The Boy Who Broke the Kingdom. The Queen's Prisoner by Jeff Wheeler meets Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas.
Okay.
Terry always knew he didn't belong, but he never expected a failed rescue mission to land him in the royal palace, face to face with the king. Now, caught between rebels, nobles, and a vengeful queen, he believes he's the only one who can reunite the breaking kingdom until his efforts ignite the war that tears it apart.
Oh, that's good.
That's really solid.
That's really good.
That was really good.
The one thing is I want to know, read the intro about Jeff again.
You mean about Terry?
Terry, sorry. I know.
Okay.
I don't know. See, I'm terrible with names, y'all. I never can remember the names of anybody's characters.
Okay.
Don't take it personally.
No, I forget my own characters' names. It's good.
Me too.
Okay, Terry always knew he didn't belong, but he never expected a failed rescue mission to land him in the royal palace, face to face with the king. Now caught between rebels, nobles, and a vengeful queen, he believes he's the only one who can reunite the breaking kingdom until his efforts ignite the war that tears it apart.
Okay. The one thing that
I got no notes.
Oh, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Though this is like not even a full note. It's a half note.
Okay.
The one thing I would say is always knew he didn't belong is emotional. So yay. But then I need the didn't belong to connect to why he was going on the rescue mission. Because if he doesn't belong, why does he care so much about fixing everything? Usually if you feel like you don't belong, you have lots of anger
Interesting.
There's some very well-adjusted people, don't get me wrong, but if you feel like you don't belong in a system, why would you want to save it so badly? So I want a little, that's emotional. So I want like that emotion part 2 of the connection between he doesn't belong, but he's going to fix everything.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for the longer one?
Oh, that was the short one?
That was the short one.
Okay, well, that could be your cocktail pitch right there. Because you saw how excited Jeff and I got.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the long one is. Go ahead.
Terry's first chance to save the kingdom came when he was 14 years old. Unfortunately, it turns out that 14-year-old boys aren't great at saving anything. When a failed rescue mission lands him in the royal palace, Terry is swept into a deadly plot that has pushed the kingdom to the brink of civil war. Manipulated by rebels, courted by nobles, and unknowingly marked by a queen hell-bent on revenge, he tries to unite the kingdom's warring factions before it's too late. But a friend's betrayal costs him everything, and the battle that follows leaves the kingdom in flaming ruins. The Boy Who Broke the Kingdom is a character-driven epic about courage in the face of the unknown, broken loyalties, and the catastrophic cost of trying to fix what others are determined to destroy.
Okay. So that last sentence, read the last sentence about the boy who broke the kingdom is, please.
A character-driven epic about courage in the face of the unknown, broken loyalties, and the catastrophic cost of trying to fix what others are determined to destroy.
I love the catastrophic cost of trying to fix what others are determined to destroy. So
That's
I
a
would
great
say
line.
it is, what a turn of phrase.
Mhm.
So I'm a big believer in the rule of three. So normally I would like that you have three things, but that last bit is so powerful. It's diminished by the first two, and I
Mm.
don't think you need them. So I would say I would start off, this line goes at the beginning of your pitch.
Okay.
You can use it instead of your log line, or you can use it in addition to your log line, but it's emotional, and it does get to the tell me more. I think you don't hear a lot of stories about someone who's trying to do right and it all going wrong.
Mm.
But we all have experienced that in real life. So it's very relatable and emotional.
Mm.
So I would put that somewhere up at the top. And then read me the beginning bit about Terry.
Terry always knew he didn't belong, but he never expected a failed rescue mission to land him in the royal palace face to face with the king.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
So that's the same note I had before about I want to know the emotional connection between not belonging and.
Oh, wait, no, I read the wrong part. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry. Terry's first chance to save the kingdom came when he was just 14 years old. Unfortunately, it turns out that 14-year-old boys aren't that great at saving anything.
Okay, I love all that. I would say Terry, but I think you need something else to add more emotion. Like Terry had been waiting his whole life for this chance, and it came when he was 14, his first chance to save the kingdom. And then we still have some mystery because we don't know why that's his desire, but it's setting up it's a great character and a great emotional journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then skip to the middle because there's something I want to cut out there.
But a friend's betrayal cost him everything?
I want to cut out that.
Okay. But a friend's betrayal cost him everything, and the battle that follows leaves the kingdom in flaming ruins.
What's right before that?
When a failed rescue mission lands him in the royal palace, Terry is swept into a deadly plot that has pushed the kingdom to the brink of war. Manipulated by rebels, courted by nobles, and unknowingly marked by a queen hell-bent on revenge, he tries to unite the kingdom's warring factions before it's too late.
Okay, so then skip the part about the friend and say the last bit.
The Boy Who Broke the Kingdom is a character-driven epic.
No. What's the last, like?
Oh, the battle that follows leaves the kingdom in flaming ruins.
Okay, let's cut all of that.
Okay.
And leave at the queen hell-bent on revenge.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a little, just so you know why I'm suggesting that, it's a little too much detail. Also, you don't want to give away the betrayal. Let's keep that.
Yeah.
Let's keep that as a surprise for your reader.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be expecting it the whole time and trying to guess who it's going to be.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No, I like it. It's very cool.
Yeah, nice job. Pitch number 7. Witch Daughter, which spelled like, with a broom. Witch Daughter.
Cool.
CJ Cook's The Nesting meets The Haunting of Hill House.
Ooh, scary.
Here's the log line. A haunted woman's, or the cocktail pitch, haunted and hunted. These two words for a dyslexic guy are tough. A haunted woman returns to her birthplace after a traumatic abortion, only to uncover a horrifying truth. The life she's living may not be her own.
Okay. I love all that. I'm wondering why we need to hear about the abortion, though. I might cut that out. It's kind of a, I hate trigger. I hate that word, and I hate trigger warnings. I'm
It's a
not pro that,
divisive word.
but I think it's going to turn off a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be important to the story. I'm not saying cut it out of the story. Just
No,
you
no,
don't need
just
it
out of
in
the
your log
pitch.
line
Yeah.
because the rest of it is you. Ooh, tell me more.
Yeah.
So, and
It's
by the
not
way,
just
The Haunting of Hill House is, I have never read the book, but the original movie, the black and white, terrified me when I saw it. So,
yeah. And just to comment on the word abortion more, it's not necessarily that you're taking some kind of side there. It's that readers might read that and have an opinion about such a loaded word. Like I had the word politics in the pitch I was giving recently. And somebody wisely told me, like, hey, the minute you said the word politics, I was like, oh, I can't.
yes,
So
yeah,
it's that kind of word. It's one of those words where it's like, oh, things
yes,
just got heavy. Things just got heavy.
yes. It's a word that is going to trip people up,
Yeah.
no matter what side they're on of that debate. It's going to trip
Mhm.
people up. And then you add traumatic on top of it. It's just like
Yeah.
it's a little too much.
It's one of those words that's like, oh, I'm gonna have to like carry some things as I read this.
Yes, and I had a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
And and yeah, so I'm not telling you to not have an abortion in your story,
No,
especially if
no.
it's important.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have it in your log line or on the back of your book, honestly.
Yeah.
Why
Um,
inflame people needlessly?
yeah. No.
So
Okay. Next, unless the major theme of the book is abortion, and then you do want them to carry heavy things and they have to,
right, if it's all
then you
about
should tell them.
right,
Yeah.
if the whole book is about the ramifications of the abortion, then you do want to have it in there. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll learn as we go here.
Okay, here's the longer pitch. When Natalie's abortion reawakens the tangled-haired lady, a ghost from her childhood, she's forced to confront questions she's long buried about her biological mother. Searching for answers, she returns to the remote village of West Hanging, where her story began. But the locals are hostile. The church and the woods littered with occult symbols, and the story of the missing woman Rebecca only dredges up more questions. As she pieces together Rebecca's fate and the rituals that bind them, she must face the terrifying truth that the soul inside of her body is not her own. She is Rebecca reincarnated. To stop the haunting from claiming her life for a second time, she must accept every part of her, Rebecca, Natalie, Witch, and confront the vengeful, tangled haired lady. But was she the one who killed her all those years ago? Told in dual timelines, Witch Daughter follows Natalie in the present day and Rebecca in 1999 as their stories gradually entwine. A haunting exploration of motherhood, grief, and female rage. It blends atmospheric tension of C.J. Cook's The Nesting with layered psychological horror of The Haunting of Hill House.
Woo. Okay. um, okay. So forget everything Jeff and I just said. The abortion is central to it. So keep it in your log line. Just know if you have it in your log line, you are going to have elicit visceral reactions from people who may then turn off to your book. But that's not a negative. I feel really strongly that every story has its people, right? So you just
It would be worse to not put it in there and it's a major theme of the book and then have people read it and give you 1 star on chapter
yeah.
3.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
So
take back what I said too after reading the longer description.
yeah.
Yep.
So this sounds really interesting. I love dual timeline stuff. It sounds terrifying. I'm a wimp. I'm a scaredy cat, so I probably won't read this one. But it is a little. You left out some information that I think we need as audience, and then you told us too much in other ways, in other places. So we're going to just walk it through it and adjust it a little bit.
You want me to take it a sentence at a time?
Yeah. Yes. Or give me like the first 3 sentences, please.
Okay. When Natalie's abortion reawakens the tangled-haired lady, a ghost from her childhood, she's forced to confront questions she's long buried about her biological mother.
Okay, stop. A ghost that haunted her in childhood. All right. Not just a ghost from her childhood. This thing made her childhood a living hell and she saw it all the time, whatever it is. But I think you want it more active. Okay, go ahead.
Searching for answers, she returns to the remote village of West Hanging, where her story began.
Okay, so searching for answers, she returns to her childhood home in the remote village of West Hanging.
Do we need
Now,
the name?
well, it's pretty ominous, so I would
It
say
is.
yes, just because it's a great, very ominous, wonderful, scary. So village is a British word. So if this isn't taking place in Britain or someplace in Europe, you want to say town. If it's an American story. Okay, keep going.
But the locals are hostile. The church and the woods littered with occult symbols, and the story of missing woman Rebecca only dredges up more questions.
Okay, so this is where I got lost. I need more information, missing woman Rebecca, but the unsolved disappearance, the decades long unsolved disappearance of Rebecca 19 or whatever it is, something to give us a little bit more information. Or is this a story no one talks about and she stumbles on it and there's a lot of questions? We just need a little bit more information since Rebecca's going to be central to our story and there's going to be the two timelines. So
Yeah, I don't know that I need the church in the woods of the occult symbols. How do you feel about that?
I think it just depends. It is because it's a little bit, it reminds me of the Wicker Man in a good way, and or the Blair Witch Project. It's very evocative. So normally I don't like a ton of detail, but we might want to include it. Now, the flip side of that is any sane person, in the movies, people do not make good choices in horror movies, always. So any sane person, they show up at a town where no one's talking to them. There are occult symbols everywhere. The church is closed. You might leave. So, so if you're gonna, it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I would say cut it out. Otherwise, if you're going to mention it, explain why she's not heading for the hills.
Yeah.
Because we're going to cut some of this stuff later. So for time, you don't have to cut that. But I want to know why she sticks around when it's clear this is a dangerous place. No one's talking to her. There's the occult symbols everywhere. There's weird stuff in the woods. She's already having that. Like, I would go straight to a priest or an exorcist or something. I'd be like, I wouldn't hang around there. I'd find another way to get help. So that's we want what's the lead character's name? Rebecca? No,
Natalie.
Natalie. We want Natalie to be smart or to come across as smart so that we're rooting for her. So if you keep that detail, explain to me why she's still there.
Okay. All right, next sentence. As she pieces together Rebecca's fate and the rituals that bind them, she must face the terrifying truth that the soul inside her body is not her own. Okay. She is Rebecca's reincarnated.
Okay, so I'm going to cut you there. So that is a super big reveal. And I don't think you want to give it away on the back of your book or when you're talking to someone. So I think it's that and why is she looking into Rebecca? Isn't she going back there to find out why the tangled haired lady's haunting her? So this is where you lost me, is I didn't know who Rebecca was. And I didn't know why all of a sudden Natalie started focusing on her disappearance instead of trying to figure out the tangled lady. So we need some connective tissue there about why she shifts her focus to solving that mystery. And then we need to make it, as she gets deeper and deeper into the conspiracy the town is covering up, she uncovers one horrifying truth after another or something like that. And that can be your cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So it's very, very interesting. And I love that she talks about the dual timelines. I think that's important for especially for your back of book blurb. You want usually they set that up. but I don't want to know they're reincarnated and she may have killed and all that. I think you want to save that for your readers.
Nice.
So let's why does she pivot from she goes there to solve her own mystery, which is why she in her childhood haunted by this lady. And I'm picturing that crazy girl from The Ring. I mean, something really disturbing. Mm-hmm. And then why has it popped back up?
Yeah, and what I hear you saying, Lindsey, is that you want that hook without giving me the solution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does she pivot from one mystery to the next? But we don't need to know what she finds out. We want to have that as your cliffhanger.
Yeah. That's good.
And also, where's her mother? Since we say the themes of this book are motherhood. Is her mother dead? Is her mother why isn't her mother there? Why can't she turn to her mom and say, I remember this freaky thing when I was a kid? Is her mom dead? Is her mother, the gothic story would be she's in an insane asylum or she's locked in someone's basement or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Because her mother's in the first sentence. She's long buried about her biological mother, but then we turn to Rebecca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of threads here. And so you've got to adjust what you're telling us and the connections to what you're telling us. And then you tell us too much a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to hear more of it or do you want to move on to the next one?
It's up to you.
Okay. I've kept you for 30 minutes over. So you have time for like one. I've got two more quick ones.
Sure.
We won't get there's a ton of people that submitted this time. So we're just going to hit two quick ones. Sorry to everybody we'll read them next time.
We'll do this again because I love this. It's so fun.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Next pitch. Living on the Fringe. While living on the Fringe, I have brought God and gangsters on my journey.
Okay, that's a great tagline.
Nice. That's the cocktail pitch.
That's a great tagline. You've got my tell me more.
Okay.
I've got in gangsters. I again, I love alliteration, and that's such a great pairing. So I'm hooked.
Nice. Tell me more. My book, Living on the Fringe, is based on true crime and my 50+ year roller coaster ride of working in the hospitality field, taking care of everyone from pimps to presidents, bringing God and gangsters on my journey.
Okay. So that sounds like a log line.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else?
That's it. Can I just say I was deceived by the opening line because the second part, I was like, oh, it's a memoir about you in the hospitality field. That's not what I thought it was going to be at all.
I thought it was going to be like Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance or something. But okay, so if it's true crime, the hospitality field isn't interesting. We got to find a sexier way to say that.
Yeah.
But I love taking care of presidents and pimps.
Yeah, that's a great line.
That could also be your title, either God and Gangsters or Presidents and Pimps. Again, I love alliteration, and those are such opposites that you paired. So you're great with your language, where Jeff and I just aren't clear about what your story is. So if it is true crime, yay, everyone loves true crime. If they don't, they are lying. Everyone loves it. So if it's your memoir and it's more than one crime, pick one. Pick one, and then you can then you've got your book series or it's also, I'm big on multiple formats for writers because you can make money different ways with your IP. If you've gotten a lot of adventures with true crime in your career, you could have a podcast or different episodes or different books. So pick one crime, pick your favorite, pick the juiciest, and tell us about it. The God and gangsters thing is a little bit confusing because Jeff and I thought it was going to be some philosophical thing or some.
Oh, I was ready for the Godfather. I'm here. Like let's shoot him up. Catholic priest takes it to the mob. Here we go.
So we went different ways on that too. So if you're going to mention God, you need to connect it to the crime. Like, is it about a priest who's also a gangster? I don't know. There's so many ways it could go. But there seems like you have lots of juicy stories. So I would say pick one. If you're reasoning is you don't feel one story is big enough for your book, then you need to have a through line. Like, say you've got 5 great anecdotes, figure out what connects all of them, and you can kind of build your book around that theme. It seems like you've got 2 here: pimps and presidents and pimps, and God and gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
Both are really great. So you can build your book that way, or you could make it an episodic thing, either a series of books, a podcast, magazine article, something. So I hope we're helping you. Do you have anything to add, Jeff?
Yeah, I think part of what I'm hearing you say, not to add, just to elaborate on what you're saying, is that like if the God is like a struggle to maintain faith or a struggle to like, be religious in a non-religious world, I would probably use one of those phrases to like communicate what the struggle you're trying to overcome is through them. Like you were saying, if you have 5 anecdotes and you're telling all 5 of these like true crime stories, what is the thing you as a character are trying to overcome as you live through
the
these
characters,
experiences?
maybe they're all grappling with God
Maybe
or
they
something
are.
in every
Yeah.
story.
But your growth arcs and your theme are always tied together. See
Yeah.
JP's story hypothesis. And so drive that, like look for that and try to drive that into this thing, I think would be a good. Yeah.
And then that's going to help you pitch it too, because you have these great pithy turns of phrase. So if you figure out the growth arc and the emotion, your pitch is probably going to write itself, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, you got time for one more?
Yeah.
Last one.
Okay.
A Time to Dance. Jane Eyre meets The Secret History by Donna Tate. Set against the backdrop of changing London, Roz's 50-year memoir reveals her yearning to be loved as well as her envy and extreme jealousy that led to possibly unintended, sometimes deadly consequences. Let me read that again.
Okay.
Because I think I might have messed it up. Set against the backdrop of changing London, Roz's 50-year memoir reveals her yearning to be loved as well as her envy and extreme jealousy that led to possibly unintended, sometimes deadly consequences.
Well, that's a great tell me more, because I want to know what the hell she did.
Okay, so here's my question.
But is it a memoir?
Yeah, here's where I'm struggling, and I just need to say this for the reader. Is Roz a character who reads her own memoir?
Right.
Or is A Time to Dance Roz's memoir?
Right.
Because if it's Roz's memoir, I would say set against the back. I have a feeling it's Roz's memoir.
Okay.
If it's Roz's, I haven't read the next section yet, but I have a feeling it is. If it's Roz's memoir, I'd write it from Roz's perspective, not from the perspective of the reader.
What does that mean? You lost me.
Set against the backdrop of changing London, Roz yearns to be loved as well. Roz's yearning to be loved as well as her envy and extreme jealousy leads to possibly unintended consequences, sometimes unintended, sometimes deadly consequences. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. So you're saying it needs to be first person versus third, or what are?
I'm saying that either right now, Roz's 50-year memoir is serving as the noun / character of this line.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
you either need to phrase it as like,
my memoir,
like set against, over my 50 years yearning to be loved. That would be like a memoir, like over my 50-year life would be a memoir.
Right. That's why we're confused.
That's why we're lost. Because that phrase, Roz's 50-year memoir, makes Roz's 50-year memoir the subject of.
Right. And that's why we think it's a novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So the next paragraph solves it. But if that's your log line.
But if you're going to tell someone that.
Yeah.
Sans everything else, you got 2 really confused people here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Moving forward.
Yes.
I like that last phrase though, right?
Yes.
To be extremely jealous that led to possibly unintended, sometimes deadly consequences. I'm all here for that.
Great turn of phrase.
Yeah. Okay. Next paragraph. Sorry, I had to process that because it was like
Well, we were
rattling in my
both
head.
confused, but you said it. You explained it better. Okay.
Okay. A Time to Dance is a multi-layered psychological fictional memoir spanning 50 years, tracing the complex inner life of Roz, a woman shaped by love, betrayed, envy, and deception. Oh, sorry, a woman shaped by love, betrayal, envy, and deception. Beginning in 1969, the story follows Roz as she becomes entangled with her enigmatic boss, a captivating artist, and a wealthy jazz pianist with a dangerous secret. A suspicious accident in Tunisia and a marriage of convenience set her on the path that leads to power, wealth, tragedy, murder, and reinvention.
Wow. Okay, super
I,
cool.
I'm here for this.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to read this and watch it too. It sounds like it would be a juicy limited series.
Mhm.
Okay, number one note: do not use the word memoir. There's no such thing as a fictional memoir. A memoir is supposed to be true. A
Mhm.
novel that is narrated by someone telling you their story is just a novel
In first person.
in
Yeah.
first person. You can have, you can have diary excerpts. You can have, nowadays
Mhm.
people put text exchanges in their emails. You can do it all kinds of ways, but it's still a novel. So that's where the disconnect was coming through. But I understand what you meant. And she sounds very, very interesting. So what I would start with was the last bit that you read about marriage in Tunisia. Start with that one, or
Yeah. Well, let me say so. I'll read it one second. Let me say something about the fictionalized memoir because I've done this before.
okay.
I know when authors use the word fictional memoir, they're trying to wink at the reader, being like, hint, hint, it's me. It doesn't work. The reader doesn't care if it's you or not. They just want a good story. So just drop it. And that's
Right.
somebody
It's
whose
just,
first book is a fictionalized memoir. Just drop it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. The Wealthy in Tunisia. Where is that? Okay, there we go. A suspicious accident in Tunisia and a marriage of convenience set her on a path that leads to power, wealth, tragedy, murder, and reinvention.
Okay. So that's your main cocktail pitch. I don't want to care about her with the boss. Um, I think you can say this is kind of women's fiction
Mhm.
when you say, Jeff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
I'd say
think,
this is women's fiction, and that's super popular in first person. Like
yes,
Elizabeth Gilbert crushes it all the time. Yeah.
yes. So I would say, I don't want need to know about the boss, and I don't want to know how torn up she is inside either.
Hmm.
Although, I mean, those great emotions that you list, I'm already like, ooh, right? But I want to start out saying, the story we the story follows. Don't say the story follows. This is me brainstorming here, but it's basically Roz in it's 1969 London, and Roz has big dreams for her life and think of a way to kind of set up young Roz, and then but things immediately go awry because, and then the paragraph that Jeff just read, something like that, so that we don't need to know. You don't want to tell on yourself, just like with the witch pitch, that she's going to kind of slowly become unraveled. We want to,
Mm,
most of these stories, we kind of want to like the person, even if they're a bad person making bad decisions. So set Roz up as someone that we want to follow this whole time,
mm,
and that things start to either suddenly go awry in Tunisia, or it's kind of this slow burn of things going awry.
mm.
And the murder thing is probably, and what happens and what bad decisions he makes is what's going to get to your tell me more and people buying the book.
Mm. That's
Does
great.
that make sense, Jeff?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts on it?
I think it sounds really, really interesting. I bet she was a really fun character to write
Yeah,
because,
seriously.
yeah. So I think you just work on honing your introduction to her and not giving it all away. It's kind
Yeah.
of this tightrope of making her super interesting, but we don't know how depraved she is quite
Mhm.
yet.
I love that.
And she's an unreliable narrator too, I'm guessing. And you might want to find a way to hint at that too.
That's good. All right. Well, Lindsay, thank you. I've kept you on long enough. I appreciate your time. This is
Oh,
great.
thank you. I love this. I could really do this all day. So thank you for having me back.
Where can people find you and how can they work with you?
People can find me at thepitchmaster.com, and there it kind of details how you can work with me as a coach. And it's just what Jeff and I did today. It's a lot of immediate feedback as well as homework. And you can come to me with a specific goal. I want to get this pitch prepared. I'm working on this story, or just bigger life writer career plans. And I write a free weekly newsletter for writers, both
Which is
screenwriters and
fantastic.
novelists. Oh, thank you. And you can get that at thepitchmaster.com/newsletter.
All right. Thanks, Lindsay. I'll hit stop on the recording and you and I can chat a little bit.
Okay,